Hey guys, it's me again, Orchlayer, but if where we last left off, let's see, checking. So, where we last left off, Deku got hurt pretty badly. He was able to recover, thankfully, to a certain extent. Aizawa didn't get pretty much almost destroyed. Snipes showed up for the USJ. They all went about by Deku and Snipe helped with the Kurogiri and Shigaraki, I believe, while All Might and the Aizawa dealt with the Nomu. Now for Deku and such, he won the first part of the sports festival, which was the whole, running the race. There we go. Forgot the race. The race, and came in first place after shooting Bakugo, shooting Todoroki. And like I said, he had a training course with something similar to little holes that would fall down. So he became pretty good at noticing things like that. So instead of having to look carefully, he's just hyper aware. So he's just bobbing and weaving like a ballerina around the bombs. And he's in first place. Everyone gets in as they typically would. Mineta's not in this, so the person afterwards whoever gets closest in the sports festival may be allowed the opportunity to join Deku 1A, maybe. As Deku went about, when Deku finished, he's as they got the whole Cavalry battle, as Deku still has that massive target on his back, he's oh my god, I feel like the bounty on my head is quite large, I see. So he's am I gonna have to do this by myself? As he's well, no, I can't technically. Can they force partnerships? As he's thinking to himself, he does ask a person here. They're yeah, sorry, bud. As he asks Kirishima and Mina, it's oh, sorry, man. You have too many people gunning for you. He's come on, it ain't that bad. As it's eventually Uraraka and Mei do approach him to be part of his team. Since Mei does want that spotlight to introduce her tech and such. So with that being said, she's yes, as Deku's okay. As she says, she could also give him some things to help him with tracking and such. She's I'm okay, thanks, but the jetpack and such should be fine. As when Deku's thinking about who amongst UA probably isn't part of anyone's team at the moment that I know of, he's as he's wait, Bird Dude, what was his quirk? As he's thinking, I don't think to recall a time at a point where any time where Deku asked Tokiyami about his quirk. So I'll just say on the bus ride, Deku's wait a sec, they were told about everyone's quirks. As Deku's that's it. As he went over and is hey. He's either going with Shoji, which I believe is Octo Arms, or Tokiyami, which is the Dark Shadow guy. So he's talking with both of them. It's I got an offer for you. As Deku speaks with Tokiyami about his quirk, but he also speaks with Octo Arms about his. As Octo Arms says, yeah, you got too big of a target. So Deku is forced to go. He's not forced, but more or less says, okay, Tokiyami, you're on the team. As Tokiyami and everything plays out, very similar to where it's mostly them running away. Deku's trying to limit the amount of times he actually uses the gun, because he's I asked people about getting a restock. They say that I would have to make do. So he says, yeah, I got around 15 rounds left in this, so yeah. There's you only got 15? He's unfortunately. As he says, so gotta make every shot count. As he refills it. As he looks at the ammo, he's like, 15. This ain't good. As he didn't get any real bullets for, this. Because I'm... Imagine that. It's just like, oh my god, the kids were shot. Why did they give someone a real gun? As Deku just says, hey, it wasn't fatal. But yeah. Anyways, that's jokingly aside. Deku does have only around 15 of those like energy bullets left. So he's like, gotta be careful. I'll try to only use 3, maybe even 5 during this game. As he's like, alright, let's go. As they are set off, they're constantly avoiding trying to run away. As when Bakugo came flying at them, Deku's like, think. As he's trying to, he remembers that everyone's gunning for him. So when Bakugo's flying at him, he's also keeping aware of Todoroki and such. Because Deku realizes Todoroki, out of everyone here, aside from this explosive kid, is probably the most dangerous. Because Deku could shoot anybody. But it takes a special kind of quirk to completely nullify it. He reckons that even Kirishima could probably withstand taking a bullet from Deku's thing. So he's keeping aware of that, as Deku and them are just like, whoop, 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 just completely running away. Till the final mark where Deku's like forced to shoot Todoroki and Bakugo, since they're not, I believe it was like, you can't intentionally knock down an enemy team. So he merely aims for Bakugo and them, as Deku's like, haha, I took out the rider. As everyone asks, is that legal? As Midnight's like, it's totally fair. His quirk revolves around it. As for them, they should be up in like 5 minutes or so. I don't know. I'm not very good with technical stuff. As Deku and them are retreating backwards. Till eventually it's like, Midoriya's team wins! With everyone going along with how it usually would. Deku gets off of the like, however they sit with, Deku and them. As Deku's like, oh, well, that was good, y'all. And thanks, May. Your gear did astoundingly. May actually make some more requests for upgrades. She's like, oh, please do. As Deku's like, okay, hang on, don't get ahead of yourself. As he's like, somewhat weirded out by her, but he also knows that she's very enthusiastic. He's like, well, I'm gonna go sit and wait. As he takes a break to, like, get his bearings, He's, like, counting up the amount of bullets he has left, and is taking count of what else could there be. Because if it's something like, oh, just like, whatever, like, he can't think of anything, really, like, that they do, like, either tug of war, capture the flag, tournament, like, he doesn't know. So eventually it's announced, yes, it's the tournament, as he's like, oh. As he takes stock of his bold skin, and he's like, alright, who am I going against? As he's like, alright, you know what, I'll forget about that, I will just devise a plan for everyone. As he isn't very good on strategies. He is, like, very good at fighting people in the moment, but he isn't like Midoriya in the original, where he's like constantly a calculated person. In a fight he could devise a plan, but not beforehand. As it's like Shinzo something other, as he's like, Shinzo? As when he goes to talk to Shinzo, that's when Ojiro or Tailman goes like, hey, hush. As he gets a quirk explained to Deku. Well, Deku gets a quirk explained to himself, as he's like, well, sorry, as he slaps his hand, well, this is gonna be a problem, ain't it? As Ojiro's like, yeah, I thought you best be for you to know. He's like, no, you're right. As he like rubs his chin, he's like, I could just shoot him. Like, he doesn't seem that tough, you know? Shinzo... Ojiro says, yeah, whatever, you just don't talk to him. As Deku's like, I got an idea. As he goes to his other locker and walks out. As he was given permission to use 2 pistols. He just doesn't use both. As Shinzo, like, everyone's there waiting. Everyone's like, he has 2 pistols? What? As Deku pretty much grabs a pistol and throws it towards him. As Shinzo's like, what? As he, like, catches it, like, in both hands. Deku doesn't, like, say anything. He just tells, like, sort of signals for Shinzo to hold up the gun. As he, like, sort of through shows him where the bullet is, how it fires and such. As he's like, alright. As Shinzo's like, wait, what? As he's confused, as then it's just like Deku flicks it in and cocks hammer back. He's like, alright. As Midnight's like, oh, folks, it seems we got an old Western draw. Alright, on the count of 3. 1, 2. As Shinzo starts, like, insulting, well, they count down from, like, 6, and Shinzo insults, like, Ojiro a bunch of times during that span. Deku's like, and Shinzo's like, bang, as he fires, as they both, like, sort of count off, as then Deku misses intentionally, with Shinzo barely, like, hitting, like, barely missing Deku as well. As Shinzo goes to cock the gun back again, as it fires a second time, as Deku dodges to the left, and then fires again. This time hitting Shinzo as he's like, oh, as he falls over. And it seems Shinzo, not Shinjo. Sorry for that misspeaking. It's Shinzo. Sorry. As then he's like dragged away. As Deku's like, your quirk is good. You just need to be prepared when someone isn't a big talker. Like, everyone in Class 1A is like, he is a big talker though. But when he gets serious, as they like saw that, like they could feel the not feel it, but like see he was serious, and that he missed intentionally at first. Deku goes over and picks up his pistol. He's like, you don't want to learn how to use a gun, just ask. As he like puts the pistols back in their holsters. So he walks off the stage. So everyone, then it goes from there. Sero versus Todoroki. As Todoroki pulled Deku aside to talk to him about his quirk, he's like, yeah, sniped my dad. As everyone in Class 1A, like, would Todoroki pay attention in Class 1A about that sort of stuff? I'd say probably no. So Deku just says, yeah, he's my dad. Yeah, he's taught me how to use guns from, like, maybe when I was, like, 6? Is when I really started learning how to use them. Yeah, but anyways, it's fun. Maybe you should learn how to charge your, like, as Deku laughs, maybe you could learn how to charge, like, channel your powers into guns. As he lets off, oh, that'd be funny to see. It's like, well, see you, Todoroki. Have fun. As Deku is then placed against Todoroki eventually. As all the fights go very similar to how they were. Like, Kirishima and Mina, though, are just, like, wanting to go fight Deku. Mina doesn't think she has a chance against Deku. But, you know, Kirishima's like, I want to try anyway. As when it comes to fighting Bakugo, he gives it his all. But eventually, like, Bakugo's tactical mindset is able to overcome Kirishima's, like, you know, durability. Eventually, Deku is against Todoroki, as Deku's like, well, this ain't gonna be fun. As he has all 6 bullets, like all 6 of his bullets, as there's been 4 bullets used since the... he had, let's see, 13. Sorry. I'm trying to not yawn sometimes. He has 13 bullets after the riding. He has 9 bullets after fighting Shinzo, since they both went through, since they used 4 for that entire round. And now for Todoroki, he has all 6 loaded just in case. As Deku's like, I don't want to use all my ammo. Oh, this is gonna be bad. If I have only 6, if I have at least 4 bullets left after this, I could probably use it as one. As then Todoroki, as it's go, as the ice blast comes towards him. Beforehand, Deku was gonna shoot Endeavor. He's like, your son ain't yourself, as I'm not my dad. That's what some people like you forget, Endeavor. I ain't my dad, cause, well, my dad's probably, well, I'm a lot like my dad. I'll take that back. But the saying isn't always the same. Every once in a while, there's an apple that falls far from the tree, Endeavor. It doesn't have that lust, that hungry for power or whatever you have. So, we'll see how the song and dance goes. As Deku says, go! As Deku fires his first shot, but it's immediately engulfed by the ice as he has to dodge to the right. As he's like, well, that ain't gonna work. As he starts running around, like trying to avoid the ice blast. As at one point he uses one of the ice little barricades that Todoroki sent earlier, as Todoroki has engulfed himself in like a circle of ice barricades, as Deku's like making sounds and such. As he's like, you gotta put on defense, I guess, but you know, it ain't gonna save you in the end. As he jumps over, firing once, hitting Todoroki right in the left arm, as he had put some ice over it as it absorbed into it. He's like, oh, that's 4 bullets left. As he rushes forward with Todoroki sending another thing of ice, Deku's like, dodge! As he barely dodges again. He's getting close to Todoroki, trying like make the same, as he's like, as he shoots him in like the stomach, as that hits him. As Todoroki's like, oh shoot, as he like goes to fall down, Deku pistol whips him. He's like, yeah, you took 3 bullets. This was annoying. As he then pointed at Todoroki again, he's like, yeah, you're already down for the count. As when he goes to pick up Todoroki, my ears, weird. Todoroki quickly does an ice thing, an ice barricade around himself. Deku's like, oh shoot, again, as he falls back. With Todoroki being encased in this like thing of ice, he's like starting to freeze, so he starts to light some fire. As quickly Deku's like, is that all there is? Come on. Thought going toe to toe with the number 2 hero's kid would be at least an even matchup, but you just seem to like the defense play. Come on, I even have a handicap here. I ain't fully loaded. As he loads his next, like his last 3, not his last, well, yeah, I guess his last 3 bullets, replacing the bullets he's already fired. So now he has an entire entire thing of ammo left. So only 6 shots, as he's like, let's see if this works. No, kid, you know, Todoroki, it's your quirk, not your dad's, right? This, like, whole ideology you probably surrounded yourself in doesn't make sense whatsoever. Well, anyway, hey, can we get him disqualified since he's just gonna hide in there the entire time? As it's like, Todoroki, if you do not remove this instance, you will be disqualified. As everyone's like, wait, what? As some people are shouting outrage, as Deku says, hey, A hero can't just huddle up in his little protective dome for all his life, now can he? You gotta face the facts. I can't do anything towards them. If that was the case, so how many heroes would win if they just huddled up in defense like this? As Todoroki here, like, remember having the flashbacks, blows up with fire, as Deku's like, oh, I kicked the hornet's nest. Oh well. Oh well. Let's see if this is truly mine. As he flicks pistol as he fires, but then is like sort of almost burned a little bit. He's like, oh shoot, as he has to roll back. He's like, well, ow, as he like feels where his arm like hit the ground hard, like hit the ground. He's like, that hurt. Alright, Todoroki, let's play ball. As he has 6 shots. As he's like, Todoroki, as Deku is on the back foot, he's constantly dodging these pillars of flame as well as these barrages of ice. He's just barely dodging each one, and he isn't even dodging each one. Matter of fact, he keeps on getting, like, his left foot was getting covered in ice at one point, and his, like, on his, like, left side, like, in, like, around his, like, left side of his, like, stomach or something, it was kind of burned. He's like, ah, oh, dang it, as he's, like, running back and forth, as he's like, gotta get in close, as Todoroki does that whole heat, what was it called, flash freeze? What was it? Yeah, I think it was flash freeze or something. As with the massive explosion, Deku's like, oh shit, as then bang, Deku's flung out of the, as everyone sees the whole white light. Todoroki's standing there behind the pillar. As everyone sees Deku, as he's like right in front of the gate, like the little thing, Deku's like, as everyone's like, he did it! Todoroki, like everyone's clapping for Todoroki. Kirishima and Mina are actually kind of scared for Deku, and even Ida a little bit. They're like, what the? As Deku's like laying unconscious right there, and even like Snipe is like, Midoriya. As they all go to like the nurse's office, as they go in, Deku's like, oh my heads. Do you have any goodie powders or Advil or something? As she's like, now I told you not to go over it. When he's like, he blew up the arena. I'm lucky I probably didn't die. Probably could have been worse though. Well, as he gets up, I'm gonna get going now. She's like, hang on a second, as she like hands him this. Take this and apply it to the burns. He's like, you're not gonna use your... She's like, no, of course not. You probably need to experience some pain. He's like, I was being careful. How can you blame that on me? As he's having an entire argument with Recovery Girl. She's like, now if you're gonna continue to argue, get out of my office. She's like, fine, Jesus. As he leaves, going out to the stands and just sitting down, he's like, my head hurts. It feels like it's been rattled for 10 years in a cage. Sorry. As everyone's like, are you okay, Deku? He's like, I'm fine. Just gonna take a seat real quick. Ow. As he rubs his head. Till he's like, so, how's everyone else doing? And it's like, it's pretty good. You know, since that whole fight Todoroki won, everyone's gone through it bit by bit, and you know, so it's all good. Deku says, well, it's a damn shame. Wish I could have gotten to the end, but you know, just ran into someone too strong early on. Bet against anyone else I could have. Probably would have been difficult, but Guys, Quirk seems to have some special properties against my energy bullets. Too bad I couldn't use real bullets, though. I could have blasted apart the ice, no problem, if I was allowed to use specialized ammo. But no, is what he says in like a voice. Snipe says there's a reason for that. If you use specialized ammo, you might have actually killed him. As he's like, I know, Dad, I know. Well, continue, as then it's like Hiroshima loses as it goes through the bracket. As eventually it comes up to Bakugo versus Todoroki, and Todoroki loses as he does in the anime. Like, you know, the whole "oh, I'm sorry" like whole thing. As eventually it comes to an end with the sports festival. Ida still gets called away for the whole, you know, his brother getting hurt severely and such, as Deku and them all go along as they would. And that's where I'm going to end this one off at. I hope y'all have enjoyed it. I hope y'all continue to enjoy this, and I hope y'all have a nice day, nice night, nice life.